And another good morning. Oh, lots of deep thought and contemplation and meditation going on here this morning, and actually before I went to bed last night. I didn't come up with the title this morning, or till this morning rather, but I had a general thought last night of the same thing that the title represents. And it is co-creating a world that works for everyone. I went to bed and woke up with that vision. That vision, that hope has not changed for me throughout my life. Oftentimes, I did not know how we could do it. I've leaned this way and that. But the vision, the conviction that that is my life purpose, has remained resolute. I exist to do my very best to fulfill that passion, to see that dream come true. Whether it's your dream or not, I wish it was and believe it is at the heart of everyone's being. I know not everyone is conscious of it, since most humans are so caught up in the next drama that we do not explore our own depths, which keeps us from reaching our own heights. Like modern medicine, we treat the symptoms, wanting the pain to stop. However, the symptoms are not the problem, not the cause. There is no magic pill. It's a personal journey to wholeness that everyone must take in order to co-create a world that works for everyone. After the Love Line last night, where we had an excellent turnout, 15 people participated. And it's always an uplifting experience to connect eye to eye and soul to soul with other people, heart to heart. And to watch courageous people, some of them quite young. And actually, we had 2 teenagers that were part of the group last night. And it's amazing that there are young people, but all age ranges. We had people from teenage into their 70s here last night, all doing, or at least making an effort to do the inner work of healing, of becoming whole, of becoming more aware of what makes humanity tick, or more specifically, what makes me tick, what makes each of us tick. We're all basically the same. And I really believe we really do all want the same thing. We may not, as I said in the blurb, be conscious of that. We may not be aware that that's what we need. We may think we need a new job. We may think we need more money, or a better relationship, or a relationship that we don't have, or a nicer house, or a nicer car, or a better country that we're living in. It's always some little thing, and I've been there too, so I know we wander. What's it going to take to make me happy? What's it going to take so that I can feel fulfillment instead of only longing, instead of only chasing after a carrot that's constantly moved away and I can never quite grasp it? What is it? What is that thing that will bring fulfillment? And it's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. That's probably where we make our biggest mistake. We think love is about finding someone, or finding the perfect situation, or the perfect set of circumstances, and putting this piece together with that piece, together with another piece. And yeah, maybe it is piecing together, but the pieces are all us. Each of us. The pieces that I seek are part of me already. And when I'm seeking them, it's because I don't see them in me. And that's what the love line is about, to teach us that what we see in others is in us. Because so many times we can see something in someone else, whether it's something good or something that we consider not good. We can perceive it. So the teaching of the workshop and the teaching of the love line is that if you can perceive it in someone else, it's in you. Whether you label it good or bad, it's in you, or you wouldn't be able to perceive it at all. And so I applauded everyone that was there last night for participating in that which will ultimately enable us to co-create a world that works for everyone. And that is owning our own shit and turning it into fertilizer. It's reconciling the differences within ourself. And when we do that, it becomes easier to reconcile the differences in our relationships with each other. Before I went to bed, I of course caught up my emails. I always try to catch up and always pretty much do catch up my emails before I go to bed each night. And sometimes there's a lot of them. But I also chose to listen to Obama's victory speech or whatever it was from the night before, or whenever it was given. I don't even know when it was actually given. I assume it was election night. And he said a lot of the right things. I don't care if you like Obama or hate him. He said a lot of the right things. And politicians often say the right things. Not always, but often. And then they proceed not to do what they say. How many of us are in the same boat? Are we part politician too? We have good intentions, but doing the good intentions doesn't come easy because of all the challenges and the personal dramas and the collective dramas that we create and participate in. My heart breaks when I hear speeches like that, because I recognize the same hope, the same longing in me as Obama expresses, and as he expressed 4 years ago when he was running for president. A lot of people were caught up because we can relate to the hope that he generates for us. And yet we keep trying to create a world of the survival of the fittest. We still have that old paradigm in place where it's my God against your God, my religion against your religion, my political party against your political party, my ideology against yours. It's competition. And I'm convinced in my heart that we will never co-create a world that works for everyone through any process of competition. We need to transcend that whole mindset of I've got to get mine because there's not enough to go around. There's always been enough. And it's a lie when we think there isn't. It's a lie that we've been sold, a bill of goods that we've been sold. And who sold it to us? Our own disconnected self, our own ego. And it becomes part of the collective consciousness that enabled us to create a world that doesn't work for anyone. Not really. Not really. As long as you're afraid of losing what you have, that world doesn't work for you. Because a world that worked for you, you wouldn't have to be afraid of losing anything. You would be free, and so would I. But we're not there, are we? We're consciously not there. maybe deep down in the depths, in the subconscious, or way up in the superconscious or higher self. Somewhere it exists, but right here, right now, we're not aware of it. And we're not going to get there until we're willing to be right here, right now, and tell the truth about how we feel. Tell the truth about what's going on with us and explore what really is going on at a deeper level than we've been willing to do before. Not a superficial level, not trying to escape and find some magic pill. We need to take the red pill and see how far down the rabbit hole we're willing to go and discover the depths of our own being. Because that's what it's going to take to co-create a world that works for everyone. It's going to take people that are willing to be courageous enough to face their own demons and dragons, to face their own underworld. Because we don't ascend by going up. We ascend by first descending and going down into our depths. That's the pattern. That's the spiritual truth or the mystical truth. That's beyond religion. It's beyond politics. It's beyond the world and the paradigm of competition that we have known so well and co-created. A world of war, a world of conflict, a world of disease, a world of pain and suffering. Yes, when I heard Obama speak, sometimes my heart would leap. Because what he was saying, the words that he was saying, that were true words for me. And I resonated. And yet I've been so disappointed. The same man that speaks all these words about making the world a better place. And I so greatly appreciated how he spoke so highly of his wife and of his children. And what he longed for his children. It's the longing of a lot of our hearts. But we don't know how to get there, do we? But yet we do know how to get there, don't we? Oh, the contradiction, Ron. You just said two opposite things that don't make sense. That's called embracing the paradox. We don't know. But yet we do know. Deeper down inside, we do know. Higher up inside of our own being, we do know the answers. But in this here and in the now, we forget what we know. And we need to remember. We need to remember and call up those lower parts of ourselves and those higher parts of ourselves and bring them down and merge them into the heart. Because it's only through the heart of cooperation that we're going to be able to co-create a world that works for everyone, a win-win situation. No longer throwing rocks at Obama because you're a conservative and he's a socialist. Yeah, I'm a socialist too, and I'm also a conservative. I'm both. I have both of those in me. I want things to be socially equitable. I want social justice. I want that for everybody because that's part of a world that works for everyone. There has to be a foundation of truth and justice in order for there to be the experience of a world of peace. There has to be. I prayed for George Bush and I strongly disliked him. Strongly disliked George Bush. And I wrote an article many years ago now, when George Bush was still president, on how difficult it was when all the hatred of the world was spewed on that man. All the hatred that went out, the venom that was being poured out of people's hearts, and blaming Bush for all the problems. And all he was a puppet that was doing the bidding of the same people that are pulling the strings of Obama. The very same people. Oh, the names have changed, but their personality hasn't. They want to run the world. And that's what the ego wants to do in each of our lives, to run our lives. But it doesn't know how because it's operating under a paradigm of separation. And it will not ever succeed in making the kingdom of heaven appear on earth when you're operating from the warlike mentality of all fundamentalist belief systems, of thinking that we're right and everybody else is wrong. Obama has the same thing. So many people in this country hate Obama with a passion. Hate him with a passion. And you think that's a solution to creating a world that works for everybody? I know it's not. Which is why I can pray for Obama. Which is why I used to pray for George Bush. But I know that they're not the answer for all of us. They're not the answer for anyone but their own self. And so I invite you to choose to send love to the world leaders. Whether you agree or disagree with what they're doing, send them love, because if you're unable and unwilling to do that, you're not contributing to the solution. You're not contributing to co-creating a world that works for everyone. You're stuck. And it's time for each of us to get unstuck and to tell the truth and to own our own experience, to own our own feelings, to own our own dreams and desires and passions, to own them and to work together, to learn to lay aside our differences and focus on the dream of a world that works, of a sustainable world where I am my brother's keeper, where I see in each one of you the Christ, the divine, the Spirit of truth, where I see in each of you a cry for love, hearing it with ears of my heart. This is what I want. And I'll bet you most of you listening, if you're honest with yourself, want the same thing. That's all I'm going to share today. Thank you for listening. And the God in me recognizes the God in you, and I honor that divine being that you are. Namaste.